Good evening. This is Stedman Fry, along with my co-host Amanda Goodman-Berry and Flex McGee, with Delta Workers Unite, the Working Class Podcast, your newest resource for news, updates, and information on the State of the Union drive and how you can get involved. We'll bring you interviews and stories from workers just like you and us who want to share happenings as they see them. We'll also be debunking the falsehoods and misconceptions about the union and giving you the tools to do the same. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you will know when we post or go live. Thank you. Hey.
Hey.
How you doing? Flex has stepped away for a minute. He's back now. I'll bring him up. But I am Stedman Fry, and I'll pass it off to my co-host Amanda Goodman-Berry to kind of give an intro about herself.
All right, I'm Amanda Goodman-Berry. I've been a Minneapolis ramp employee for over 28 years. And I will pass it over to my brother, Flex McGee.
Hey, what's good, everybody? Flex McGee, ATL in this joint. Of course, I've been all over the system as well, former Northwest employee, man. And as always, I'm excited to be here and, kick it about the job with everybody, man. Let's get it popping. I guess Fry done stepped away for a minute. Maybe I need to step up.
No, forgive me. I'm having a bit of technical difficulties on my end. I don't know what is going on, but it's Stedman Fry here in Detroit. Gotta fix my camera up, but I'm in Detroit, 18-year employee, and here to start the show. You see my lighting and everything is deciding to mess up on me all of a sudden, so we're rolling with it. We're moving the show along. We won't let this stop us. But today's episode, we're going to do a recap. We had a rally in Minneapolis over the weekend, Saturday. And we kind of want to just go over that for everybody who couldn't be there because it was a really big rally. A lot of people came out. Had a lot of support from different unions. I have a mention in the comment section. There we go. I'm back. In the comment section, we talked about it. Not the comment section. Sorry, in the description. Got a list, but I got the list here. Had representatives from the St. Paul Regional Labor Forum. Kira Peterson was the president. Marsha Howard, president of the Minneapolis Federation of Teachers. Our very own Tiffany Lopez, associate organizer of the IM. Gerard Anderson, Minneapolis Delta flight attendant. Rob Levine, Minneapolis Delta Airlines worker.
Big Rob.
Becca Murtis, Delta Airlines flight attendant. Amanda Goodman-Berry, our very own host, tore the house down. We have a clip of her talking. We're going to pull up a video. Delta Airlines worker. And we have a resolution read by Minneapolis City Council members Aisha Chuktai and Robin Wansley. And the closing speaker was International President of the Association of Flight Attendants, AFA-CWA, Sarah Nelson.
Sarah, what's up?
Sarah.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to everybody.
And then
before you go on with that, I saw a little bit of a video, and I think that was Rob, whose son was like, "That's my dad."
Yeah.
Yo, that was like the most amazing part, man. Rob, shout out to your son, man. Let you know he made that whole clip.
So let's give a round of applause for all the speakers and the guests, everybody.
Yes.
Rob, Becca, Tiffany, everybody. Let's give a big round of applause for everybody who spoke, especially the Delta workers and IM workers and the AFA workers and everybody who showed out for support. So we'll give a big round of applause for that. because, it takes a lot of courage to put yourself out there to speak in front of a crowd of people. And I'll link in the description. I don't have it in there now, but I will link in the description to the full live feed. I think it's about a 5-hour video on our Facebook page, so that if anybody's interested in watching the full video, which I would advise, if you want to get re-energized, if you're feeling like, the journey is kind of getting you a little fatigued, and maybe our show isn't doing you a good enough job of re-energizing you. I think if you watch some of these speakers, especially, Amanda, Tiffany, Rob, even the flight attendants had great stories about, why they think and why they know we deserve to be treated better. Sarah Nelson, Marsha Howard, really impassioned speeches. And then we even had, I almost forgot, Congresswoman Betty McCollum spoke. She gave a story about her relationship with the airline industry. Her mother was a flight attendant, and kind of the journey from her mother being a flight attendant, unmarried, after being married, having to fight to keep her job, and then becoming a mother and being forced to move to the ticket counter. And then an uncle of hers worked for Banff Airlines, or I think her mother, she said, worked for Eastern Airlines. I could be wrong. Maybe Amanda, if you remember, but I could be wrong. And then Ilhan Omar had a representative speak. She couldn't make it in person. So a lot of people came out to show support and solidarity with all the Delta workers who were trying to, we're trying to advocate for ourselves for better working conditions and ultimately a union. And so I'm going to pull up the video, unless there's any comments anybody wants to make. We got some comments that I do want to pull up. I know I saw some. Stand with Yvette. It says, "Evening, y'all. Let's let the people know, union yes, hashtag union yes," and we agree. And then we got Tiffany here.
Thank you, sister.
One of our speakers of the day, Tiffany.
Star-studded speaker, Tiffany.
Right. Overcame. She thought she would be nervous, but by looking at her, you couldn't tell she doesn't do this every day. So I'll pull that video up and we'll get to it. It's from KARE 11 Minneapolis news station. And as we kind of talked about before, this show is kind of going to be on the shorter side. And I know we say that a lot, but sometimes we can carry it away. But it's going to be on the shorter side because, with the rally going on and kind of getting ready for that, our focus was really on getting that taken care of and the preparations for that and the travel for that. So, it's just, there I go again. The focus has been on that this week. So we're going to try to really highlight that. And so we're not going to keep you as long as typical. We got another comment in the meantime from I'm the King's Kid. Yes, sir. So let's go to the video. And it's from KARE 11. And if at any point you want me to pause it, let me know. I will be pausing it. If you want me to replay something, let me know. I'll be doing that as well.
Delta flight attendants, ramp, and cargo employees are trying to form a first-of-its-kind union with the support of workers.
And can you hear it? Is it clear? Want to make sure.
No, yeah, you good, bro. Yes. Yeah, you good, bro.
Around the company, across the company, and around the nation. Now, it's something that they've been attempting to do since the Delta Northwest merger in 2008. Jessica Hart shows us where those efforts stand today.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity comes in many forms.
There's power in the workplace with the union.
One form is a union.
And hope will deliver us a union vote.
Delta airline workers held a solidarity rally in St. Paul on Saturday as they push for a union vote.
It's important because 80% of the industry is unionized. Only 20% of Delta is, and that's only our pilots.
Pat Gores has been a baggage handler for 9 years.
There's rampant favoritism. We don't have set work rules. Our schedules change. We've had massive cuts to our full-time scheduling.
It's gonna be here in the Twin Cities.
Workers are fighting for better pay, rest rules, and health care.
I was there.
There's so many parts I wanted to pause on, but we can see a couple guests from the show. Amanda, co-host, as I said before, but Pat, who was on the show, I believe it was episode 5, so 2 shows ago, was here talking about a lot of the issues that we have discussed in the past and kind of in continuum, because these are issues that exist at this company. Any feedback anybody wants to give, just kind of before I get into it, is any commentary anybody wants to make just about how the video is going so far, anything anybody's seen?
I say just let the video run and then we do a recap, talk about it as we move forward. And as you said, Pat was on just a couple of weeks ago talking about the financial differences between the airlines and Delta Airlines. So I say let the video run and then we do a recap and we have some fun talking about the rally because we had a great time.
Okay, I'll let it go.
For that union campaign, I was there when we ultimately lost the vote. Delta, you made $4.6 billion. You can afford to make us the industry leaders the way that we made you the industry leader.
Come on,
In the
man.
United States,
Whoa.
Delta is the most profitable airline. It's also the largest airline in America without a union. In a statement, a Delta spokesperson said, "We respect our employees' right to decide if union representation is right for them, but we believe our direct relationship has proven to be stronger, faster, and more effective in driving improvements."
Without Delta being unionized, it's just really holding everybody else back.
An industry where they feel like other airlines are taking off, and these workers feel like they're stuck at the gate and hope a vote to unionize will get them a seat on the plane.
The vote to unionize would impact 18,000 Delta workers. They'll need 50% plus one to become a union. Currently, they don't have a set date on when there could be a vote, but they hope it's soon.
Got another video from Brother Flex here for More Perfect Union. So that's a
I
separate
kind of love this
video.
time of morning getting up. So
We should do a deep dive into that story.
yeah, if that's what the people want, we'll do it. But I'd be embarrassed to see myself on video.
Yeah, we want
I'd
it. I
still
think
be kind of
don't know
embarrassed.
why.
information is valuable to the cause because it's eye-opening when you get to see a big rich company like this who treats its workers the way that it does. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's valuable for us to break down eventually, and if you can get over it, I can get over it, and we can go through it together. So Amanda, if you'd like to start us off, you were the speaker. You can kind of give us your perspective on the stage. Kind of let us know how you felt in the room, the feeling in the air. You had you knew a lot of people in the place. I mean, I feel like a lot of the viewers who are not as well acquainted with you don't understand the kind of rock star status you have in the organizing movement. But I feel like, explain just from your perspective how you felt in that moment. You were really in your element on stage. Your speech was passionate. You spoke from the heart, and you really, I think, you gave a perspective of a person. You humanized this movement in a way that I think makes this whole thing relatable for everybody who would watch or hear this speech. So I do encourage, and I'll put the link in the description, everybody to watch, even if you just fast forward to Amanda's part. And I think you should watch Rob's part, and I think you should watch Tiffany's part, and I think you should watch everybody's part. I really do. So don't fast forward it. But if you have to fast forward to see Amanda's part to kind of get what I'm saying, I think Amanda really humanized this in a way that, as a company, when you're confronted with the workers like this, let's give it a round of applause. When you're confronted with workers who are speaking like this from the heart to express their grievances, right? Who are expressing, as Rob said, we have worked to make you number one, and we expect the same in return. I was kind of, thinking about today, this idea, because I'm trying to move some things here in Detroit to kind of get the ball rolling in a different direction. Still conducive to things, but a coworker who I'm trying to talk to kind of help get more involved. He said, what about when people say, Delta's going to give us a raise when everybody else gets a raise, and so we'll be even with everybody else? And I said, if Ed Bastian, the CEO of Delta Airlines, was sitting right next to us, and he was asking us about on-time numbers, and he was asking us about back to claim numbers and customer satisfaction numbers, and we said, we're right around United Airlines and American Airlines and Southwest in bag to claim and on time and customer satisfaction, would he be satisfied? And the answer is no. He would want to be number one. And in that same hand, we want to be number one. We have allowed you, like Rob said, we have made you number one in profits. We want to be number one in compensation and benefits. And we want to be number one in all other manner of being taken care of, like we take care of you. So kind of, Amanda, I know I spoke a lot, but just kind of give your perspective since you spoke and you really were in your element in that moment, if you could.
Well, I'll speak briefly on it, but I do want to do like a small recap on the importance of why I spoke about Dr. King at the rally, and so did Sarah Nelson. She also spoke about him as well. But one of the things I wanted to make clear so that the flying public and anyone who's listening to this is that they get what I was saying about Delta did not show up. When we did that trip to Memphis, Tennessee, and from Georgia and back to Georgia, we did that with the IAM. The IAM supported us when no one else was supported us. The IAM believed in our thoughts. They believed in our dream. They believed in that hope that I saw. That hope that I saw was that we too can go and celebrate Dr. King. So standing on that stage at that moment, I really forgot the whole speech that I had because the passion came out in me. And when I started to talk about hope, hope was to give people, to inspire the people that even in our darkest days, we can always count on hope. And if you notice what I said that we can have hope, but we can never forget about our sister named Faith, because hope and faith worked all together. And because of the hope that we've had during this union drive, hope is what is going to get us to the finish line. Hope is what brought us in that room all together on Saturday. There was no room to sit. There was standing room only. And for those employees, if you wasn't inspired, you should have been so inspired, because we packed the house to where people was even outside. It was so full. So me being on the stage, and I humbly say this here, humbly, I was appreciative to share the stage with so many people who had gone before me, to share the stage with such incredible speakers. It was an honor for me. And I will always be grateful for that. But as we narrow it down to what the big picture was, is that organizing is still as important as it was back then during Dr. King's time as it is today, if not even more so important, because we're once again fighting for the right to vote and the right to organize. So I want people to understand that this is a big fight, and this is a winnable fight, and this is a fight that we will win. We will win this fight, and we will get to an election. So that's the hope I want you to believe in. So thank you, Stedman.
Folks, if that don't make you want to get out and run through a brick wall, I don't know what to do with it. I mean, you must not be breathing if that don't make you feel like doing something. And that's really, I think, the spirit of this rally, right? A lot of time, even my cynical self can get wrapped up in the sloganeering and say, this doesn't matter. What is this going to do? But when you get in there and you get to feed off that positive energy of everybody, right? Like I said, we look at flight attendants every day, and they seem so detached from it all. But I actually saw the flight attendant who spoke at the rally on the flight that I took home the next day. So that let me know something. Even though they're able to put on a brave face, they want better too. And we're in this fight together, right? We're all in this struggle for better together. So when you're throwing bags down the chute and you're experiencing that process, right? We're throwing bags down the chute, we're going upstairs, and you're interacting with a flight attendant. Remember, some of them, not all of them, just like all of us on the ramp, some of us are still a little apprehensive and misinformed, but some of them are feeling the exact same exhaustion and stress that we feel, and they want a better way. We got to work together, and we got to try to move this forward in a positive direction, right? We have to keep in mind that we deserve better. So this is why, I titled this, Are You Ready to Lead the Future of Labor? And I got help. I can't take all the credit from Tiffany. I sent her, and she kind of helped me tweak it because it was kind of long what I had. But this is the idea. One of the big themes, and actually we have a video we're going to be releasing with you saw Rob in there, Rob, Pat, and Connor. They did a conversation about building internal committees. They have really great chemistry, those three guys. They're guys that I think are useful in a movement like this, because you need people who can communicate on a person-to-person level. And I think they really encapsulate the kind of camaraderie you want to see in a union, right? It's enviable. The closeness that they have, it's genuine. And so when you look at what now I'm drawing a blank on the point I was making. When you look at the way that they were able to communicate about certain aspects, now I'm drawing a blank. I won't try to I'll try to capture it later. But ultimately, this is, this is I remember now. It's leading the future. Eventually, right? Eventually, we're all going to be gone, right? You can't work forever. And so the idea is, who's going to pick up the mantle? For all the guys who are union, that were Northwest, that led this fight when we merged in 2008, and who were trying before the pandemic really hit, when we tried it again, and it kind of got derailed, that before they took early outs, who's going to continue this fight? Who's going to teach the new hires that there's a better way, that there used to be a better way, and that a better way is possible? Like Amanda was saying, who's going to keep Hope and her sister Faith company if we don't pass on, if people who are in this fight today don't gird themselves for the journey ahead? It's not going to be easy. We saw Delta say in the video, we strongly support our employees' right. We talked about this in the revolving door, right? We strongly support our employees' right to unionize, but we think that it moves. The part that stuck out to me was, we think our way, our open door policy is faster and more efficient. But fast and efficient works for the company. That don't work for you. Fast and efficient took us from having 5 people loading the plane and downloading the plane to 3. Fast and efficient took us from having carpets in 757s to having power stoves that don't reach the wall. Right? We know what fast and efficient looks like. We want safe. We want better. We want what works for us.
That's powerful, bro.
Well, thank you.
If I could just squeeze in for a second, because I know, give yourself a round of applause with that, because that was all powerful. But I saw Amanda Lynn, she had her hand, she wanted to jump in there too, but she ain't like me. I just jump right in. She gonna wait her turn. But I saw you had your hand up, man. What you got?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I don't. That's what I had. Y'all killing it. I didn't get a chance to make the rally personally, but the effects of it, I promise you, have already hit Atlanta. Some of the young ladies who went to the rally in Minnesota have come back and they told me about it. And like Kelly herself she was like, "Hey man, I was one of the most inspirational things I ever been to in my life." Events, she didn't say things, events that she had ever been to in her life, and that just caused me to make sure that I wanted to make sure that people understand what we're doing is working. It's so obvious that it's working too. It might not be on a scale or at the pace that we want it to be, but when we get a chance to connect with people, people connect with our movement and us as people. And just because they came from Atlanta, y'all know, I appreciate what y'all did, how y'all take care of them. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like my little man's in them. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're my little people. So I just appreciate the fact that y'all really took them in and loved on them and hugged on them and let them become a part of all of this, man. So it's just an amazing thing to be a part of this whole process, man. And I'm mad I missed this one. I want to promise that I'll be at the next one, but as soon as I make that promise, it'll be on a date I absolutely can't make. So I don't want to set that promise. I don't want to kill myself with that. But I'm gonna try to make every event I can, man. That's real talk. Facts.
And also, Flex, a part of that, just having to Shakanda and to Kelly and all the workers that came from station and system wide. It was an amazing rally. And if we want to put some focus on the rally, the people that were in town from out of town, you're talking about senators, you're talking about all kinds of Minneapolis leadership that helped make bills and sign bills was in the house with us on Saturday. And to say that this was something small would be crazy for me to say that. This was such a big rally that, like I said, it was wall to wall, back to back, shoulder to shoulder. And there was people in there who believed in what we were trying to do. If not, they would not have been there. So I want to talk to the people who's on the fence. I want to talk to the people who is straddling the fence. I want to talk to the people who think that you can't come over the fence. If you had been there Saturday, you would have climbed the fence to get in there because it was so much power. And I don't mean like power in an ego type way. I'm talking about power in a way that every voice that spoke, it spoke power. Every person that spoke, they spoke power, hope. They inspired. So it wasn't just myself speaking to inspire hope. It was a team of people in that room that talked about their life stories. So what I'm saying is we on to something mighty special here. And no matter what Delta might want to say, no matter what Delta might want to do, we Delta workers, we are on to something real special. And that something special is about to come to pass. And that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a way with inspiring words. You say the things in a way that brings out a desire to get to work. So I see why you get all those cards signed. I do. I really do. I do. Because I'd sign some cards if I hadn't already had my cards up to date, I'd be signing about 5 of them right now. But I think one thing I did want to mention, and I think it's important. Earl's got a point here. All the speakers produce huge motivation for the campaign, especially the Delta workers, and I think that's true. And so as I said, and I've reiterated, I want to say I'm going to put that full link to the rally in the description because it's important to hear. I've got Amanda. I've got her full speech. I'm going to upload that. I got to just edit. I want to kind of make it nice and put some little flares to it so we can, make it as nice and presentable as we can. I'm going to upload that so you can hear it in its totality because I think it was we got a comment headline news. Great job. Exactly. We are getting some good positive media coverage, which I think is going to help with, expanding the reach of the rally. But, I think Amanda's speech was powerful. And, being able to share that on this channel to motivate people is going to be big going forward. But one thing I wanted to talk about that I think is important to understand is just the shift in the way that the drive has had to go and what makes it so difficult. I know people, even in the news clip, the anchor woman, or I don't know, the reporter said there's no timetable for when we get 18,000, so 9,000 plus one card signed. But years ago, what was it? Just needed 30% of the workforce, right? And so
35%. 35% call for election before they change the rules.
Right. And so when you think about that, if we needed 35%, still we would have had an election a long time ago. So as much as Delta says we support the employees' right to voice their concerns, they're not, as I've said, multiple times on this show, they're not an innocent bystander. They're not just sitting silently or idly by and allowing us to do what we all think we should be able to do. They're actively lobbying and working to make sure it is the most difficult thing that we can do. They're actively hiring, they're actively firing or suspending or adjusting and shifting people around in such a way that it makes it difficult for us to get cards signed, for us to keep track of who's on the books and who isn't. And so, if you feel discouraged, understand that this is a real fight. One of the workers said this at the rally. I don't remember if it was Gerard or Marcia Howard, but they said, all you got to do is sign a card. You're not being asked to get beat up You know, like back when they were sending the National Guard in the 40s to stop people from organizing, and they were getting beat up by thugs hired by, you know, Henry Ford and things like that. All you got to do is sign a card. You don't have to fight the battles that people used to have to fight years ago. You just have to sign a card. You get informed. We have opportunities. I try my best to make all the resources as easily accessible as I can in the description and on this show. And I try to break everything down, and we try to go over everything in such a way that it leaves no mystery. I even say all the time, if you have questions, leave them in the comments. Email us. I'll leave the email up, the Facebook up, the Instagram is up. You know, get the information. Don't let it be for the lack of knowledge that you don't sign a card. If you don't want the union, let it be because you have an informed decision and you don't like the union. Let it be because you're being paid off, right? Let it be because you're being paid off. Don't let it be because you are willfully ignoring the information and you're doing it for free. At least get paid. At least let it be a financial benefit to you. You know, so you have got to, we got Dan in the comments. You've got to take the affirmative step here. You have got to take the affirmative step here, right? This is for our future. This is for the future of labor, right? If we can organize, Sarah Nelson was saying, if we organize, this will be the largest union organizing ever, I think, under the Railway Labor Act or something, she said. I can't remember exactly, Amanda, if you can remember, but she said, and so this will be a transformational union win if we can organize Delta Airlines. This would fundamentally shift the power balance of labor in this country. Delta does not want that, right? It's a fundamental change in the way that this company does business. And they don't want that. They're not going to go down without a fight. You know, think about all of for all the visitors and guests. When you go to the grocery store, if somebody taking $1.25 extra of your change, you want to fight. Imagine a company like Delta stands to lose billions of dollars, having to compensate their employees in better wage, pay, compensation for benefits, equipment, staffing. Right? We go look at the video with Pat where he's breaking down how the compensation works for sick time, for vacation time, overtime pay, multiple weeks of vacation time that we don't get. If here's a slogan I came up with today at work. If good enough, when good enough is not good enough, sign your union card. If being a part of the pack isn't good enough for Delta Airlines, it's not good enough for Delta workers. That's what you got to remember. So we were going to keep it light today. We had 33 minutes. I'll let Amanda talk. I know, I've been kind of long-winded, and I can be, but
that's okay, Bro Stedman. I just wanted to just leave something behind to all the workers to understand that back even in the olden days, we had things we were fighting for and that we were looking forward to when it came to winning votes and even having an option to vote. I want to leave with all workers of all races, all nationality, all religions, everything. If you look at it, Delta does not want us to win. Delta does not want us to have a voice. Delta does not want us to be able to make decisions that is best for us. Delta want to make all the decisions and just say, here it is, and you go along with it. But I want to leave with you a slogan that they used to say in the older days. We ain't going to let nobody turn us around, okay? We're not going to let nobody, not even Delta Airlines, turn us around. So I want to leave that with you. Thank you.
Hey, and to finish it, just to keep on walking, keep on marching.
Right? Walking to the promised land. That's right.
Right. And that's what it is. You have to fight until victory is won. Are you ready to lead the future of labor? Right?
Right.
Are you ready to have a fundamental shift in the American political, financial, economic system? If we can win a union at Delta Airlines, you can win a union anywhere.
Right.
We will win.
I'm with that. And we will win. I just want to kind of just say my little 2 cents just because y'all been killing it the whole show. I gotta say something. Uncle Charlie done hit me and told me to wake up. So I just want to say one,
Hey,
I
Uncle
promise you,
Charlie.
Uncle Charlie watching here. Uncle Charlie, like, hey man, I guess my
Uncle
eyes getting a
Charlie.
little too low for him, and I apologize. But no, seriously, man, people got to realize, a lot of times people get tired of signing cards. A lot of times people get tired of not being, at the top of the mountain yet. It's up to people like us to keep everybody motivated. And a lot of times, to be honest with you, I don't feel like being the motivated factor in this thing, but it's what I've been tasked to do for me by who I feel like is my creator, the Most High. And that's why I continuously get up and do it day in and day out. Listen, anybody out here is tired of signing cards, I respect it. I got you. And I'm tired of asking you to sign cards. But the truth of the matter is, like, we are a part of what Sarah was saying, the biggest unionizing campaign in the world right now. If you add us and the flight attendants, like, there is nothing larger than what we have going on. And your little part, which is really a huge part of signing a card, is valuable. It's important. You may not be the person that you see on the podcast or in a video or at the rally, but your card counts just the same as the people you see in the podcast and on the video and in the rally. And it means just as much.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Your conversation with your coworkers, it means just as much as our conversations that we do all across the system or whatever it is we do. Everybody's part in this is valuable. And I just don't want to I want to make sure people don't undervalue their value. Because to you, you might feel like you're one person, but to us, you are the one person that's going to push us over the top. And that's the part of this that I want to make sure that people understand. Like your input on this, your card signing, all that stuff is so valuable. You know what I'm saying? It's not just like another drop in the bucket. You are the drop in the bucket that pushes the bucket over the top. You know what I'm saying? So when you decide not to re-sign your card or you get frustrated, understand that, like, that's the drop in the bucket that's keeping us from overflowing the bucket. I just wanted to make sure that I kind of pass that message along to everybody today to make sure that we remember all of our value and respect each other's opinions. And again, I will say to the people out here, because I know you're watching, that don't think we need a union, but you're watching this podcast today, like, chime in and tell us what your opinion is on it. You know what I'm saying? Or figure out how you can get involved and join, because we want to know what you think too. That matters for all of us. You know what I'm saying? Because we might be missing something that's completely, that's turning off employees. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be the fact that it's the IM is the union we chose, maybe you're not sold on that, or maybe you're not sold on what it is we're selling. But we need to know all of that information. But I'm gonna pass this back off to Fry. I appreciate everybody who takes the time out of their day to kind of chime in and listen and help and collect cards. And shout out to everybody who went to the rally and the people from other airlines who stand behind us every day and continue to work with us. And because I know we can be a difficult group ourselves sometimes. So, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's involved, and to the staff of the IM. Y'all know y'all like big brothers and sisters to me. So it's always going to be all love, even though we don't always agree. We always got the same goal at heart, man. So, shout out to everybody. Shout out to the AFA for doing their thing as well. I'm sorry I missed the last rally, and I promise I'll try to make the next one.
Let me just say shout out to Uncle Charlie. He just sent me a shout out. I love you, Uncle Charlie, and I miss your prayer on Saturday.
Uncle Charlie is the best.
And I want to give a special shout out to Boston employee Andy LaFontaine. He really is kind of holding Boston down. And I know, it can be difficult when you feel like you're a man on an island, but he's doing it. He's making the moves. He's trying his hardest. And I know that he's got a lot of pressure up there. And, I don't know if he's watching, but if he is looking, I'm hoping that he hears these words of encouragement and he's continuing to fight on as best as he can. And, we'll talk to him on the calls. But, you want to give people the credit they deserve for the work they put in, because this isn't hard. I mean, this isn't easy. This isn't easy.
No,
and so,
No, it's
If
not.
this is it, we got the 39-minute mark, so we just hit 40 minutes. And we were saying it's going to be a lighter show today, and I guess Amanda's positive energy had kind of overtaken me, and I got carried away. So
you guys did great, man. Don't do that to yourselves. You guys did great, man. We might have went over on our time, but as Uncle Charlie would always say, man, you did what God needed you to do today, man. So I'm with
That's
it.
right. That's
That's
right.
Uncle Charlie's talk.
That's all I can hold. But I'll close out, and we got a special little thing I want to try to add just to kind of build some of the camaraderie and solidarity from the rally and kind of bring it to the show as a focal point. But I'll read the outro. If anybody else has any closing words, I'll give you a chance. Okay. So I'll read this again, and I really want the viewers to take this to heart because I say this a lot, and I think I might need to emphasize some different parts maybe. But I'll say this. Thanks for tuning in with us. If you have questions that were not answered, or maybe a specific topic you'd like to have addressed, leave us a comment or an email, and we'll get back to you. Right? Also, all available links to information and materials are posted in the description. Here's a very important part because I think this is lost, and I want this to be emphasized. Remember, this podcast is powered by working people just like you, meaning we have full-time jobs. We are 3 people. We're trying to do the best we can do given the circumstances that we are under with full-time jobs and full-time lives, right? We aren't perfect. We aren't being paid. We don't make money off this from YouTube. We don't make money off this from IM. We are doing this as a labor of love. We want a union. We want to change the dynamic of labor and power in this country, right? We do this for all of us, okay? So, in solidarity, peace.
Peace. Go ahead, Flag.
When the union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run, there can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yet what force on earth is weaker
Go ahead,
than the
Emmett.
feeble strength of one? But the
The
union makes
union
us
makes us
strong.
strong.
Solidarity forever.
Forever.
Solidarity